a scary story about Chernobyl and Chernobyl monsters. Have you ever felt the irresistible pull of a place shrouded in mystery? A location so eerie, it sends shivers down your spine just thinking about it? Today, we're venturing into the heart of one such place, the abandoned city of Pripyat near the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Once a bustling community, Pripyat now stands frozen in time, its empty buildings and deserted streets echoing with the whispers of the past. But beneath the silence, something stirs. Rumors speak of shadows that move on their own, of creatures born from the very disaster that drove people away. Join me as we delve into a chilling tale that blurs the line between reality and nightmare. This is the story of Chernobyl and the monsters that may lurk within. To understand our story, we need to revisit the events that turned Pripyat into a ghost town. On April 26, 1986, a catastrophic accident occurred during a late-night safety test at reactor number 4 of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. The reactor exploded, releasing massive amounts of radioactive particles into the atmosphere. The Soviet government evacuated over 100,000 people, abandoning entire cities and villages within the exclusion zone. The disaster had far-reaching consequences, not just environmentally and politically, but also in the collective psyche of the people. It became the genesis of countless legends and stories that attempt to explain the unexplainable. Today, the area remains largely uninhabited, a stark reminder of the dangers of nuclear power gone awry. Yet, it attracts adventurers and thrill-seekers, all eager to glimpse a world trapped in the past. With abandonment comes mystery. Over the years, the Chernobyl exclusion zone has become a breeding ground for tales of the supernatural and the unexplained. Locals whisper about strange lights floating through the forests at night and shadows that don't belong. They speak of mutated creatures, animals altered by radiation into something more sinister. One of the most enduring legends is that of the Chernobyl monsters. Described as humanoid figures with distorted features, these beings are said to roam the ruins, especially after dark. Some say they are the spirits of those who perished, unable to move on. Others believe they are the result of radiation mutating the very essence of life. Visitors have reported eerie sensations, feelings of being watched, unexplained sounds, malfunctioning equipment, and fleeting glimpses of figures in the distance. Are these merely the products of overactive imaginations fueled by a decaying backdrop? Or is there something more to the stories? Enter our protagonist, Michael, a seasoned urban explorer with a passion for uncovering the secrets of deserted places. Fascinated by the stories surrounding Chernobyl, he decides to embark on a journey into the heart of the exclusion zone. Armed with a camera, a Geiger counter, and a healthy sense of adventure, Michael is determined to document his experience and perhaps shed light on the legends that have captivated so many. He knows the risks: radiation exposure, legal repercussions, and the inherent dangers of crumbling structures. But for Michael, the chance to walk through history is worth it. Under the cover of darkness, Michael slips past the perimeter fence. The air is thick with silence, broken only by the distant call of birds and the rustling of leaves. His Geiger counter emits a steady, soft clicking, an ever-present reminder of the invisible threat surrounding him. As he steps into the city, the sheer emptiness is overwhelming. Buildings stand like silent sentinels, watchful and foreboding. Michael makes his way through abandoned apartments, schools, and amusement parks. He captures haunting images of everyday life left behind: children's toys, family photographs, personal belongings, all coated in layers of dust. Despite the unsettling atmosphere, the day passes uneventfully. As dusk approaches, Michael decides to find shelter for the night. He settles in a small room on the top floor of a crumbling apartment building, unaware that the real adventure is about to begin. As darkness envelops the city, the familiar becomes unfamiliar. Shadows stretch and twist, and the quiet takes on a life of its own. Michael sits reviewing his photos when he notices something peculiar. In several images, there are anomalies, blurred shapes, and figures that he hadn't seen while shooting. A slight unease creeps in. He tells himself it's just glitches, light leaks, or dust on the lens. But then a faint sound echoes from the hallway outside his room, a soft, almost imperceptible shuffle. He calls out, "Hello? Is someone there?" Silence responds. Gripping his flashlight, Michael steps into the hallway. The beam cuts through the darkness, revealing peeling wallpaper and debris, but no sign of life. Just as he turns to go back, he hears it again, a whisper, his name seemingly carried on the wind. His heart races. Is someone playing a prank, or is his mind playing tricks on him? Determined to get to the bottom of the mystery, Michael decides to explore further. He moves cautiously through the building, every sense on high alert. The Geiger counter begins to spike erratically. The clicking grows frantic. Suddenly, his flashlight flickers. In the brief moments of darkness, he feels an overwhelming sensation of being watched. When the light steadies, he glimpses a figure at the end of the corridor, a humanoid shape, unnaturally thin, with elongated limbs. Its eyes reflect the light with an otherworldly glow. Michael freezes, disbelief and fear battling within him. The figure tilts its head, mirroring his movements. Gathering his courage, he raises his camera, snapping a photo. The camera flash illuminates the corridor, and the figure vanishes. Breathing heavily, he backs away, only to hear movement behind him. Turning swiftly, he sees more figures emerging from the shadows, their forms distorted, limbs bending at impossible angles. Panic sets in. Michael sprints toward the staircase, the creatures in pursuit. The building seems to shift around him, the hallways stretching, doorways leading to unfamiliar rooms. Desperate to escape, he bursts through a door and finds himself on the rooftop. The city sprawls below, cloaked in darkness. There's nowhere left to run. The creatures close in, their whispers now a cacophony of unintelligible words. In a last-ditch effort, Michael scans the rooftop and spots a maintenance ladder leading down the side of the building. He clambers down, adrenaline fueling his movements. Reaching the ground, he doesn't stop. He dashes through the streets, the footsteps behind him fading but the fear unrelenting. With no clear direction, Michael navigates the labyrinth of Pripyat streets. Landmarks he'd noted earlier now seem foreign. The city's layout feels altered, as if manipulated by unseen forces. He stumbles upon an old service tunnel entrance, an opportunity to hide. Descending into the darkness, he hopes to put distance between himself and whatever pursues him. Underground, the air is thick and stale. The Geiger counter's clicks are muffled but persistent. His flashlight flickers ominously. After what feels like an eternity, he spots a faint light ahead. Emerging from the tunnel, he finds himself at the edge of the forest bordering the exclusion zone. Exhausted but relieved, Michael slows his pace. The first light of dawn breaks through the trees. The nightmare seems to recede with the darkness. He doesn't look back. His only thought is to get as far from Chernobyl as possible. Back home, Michael reviews his footage. The images are distorted, but the silhouettes are unmistakable. He shares his experience online, igniting a firestorm of reactions. Some people dismiss his story as fiction or a publicity stunt. Others believe he encountered something supernatural or perhaps suffered hallucinations due to radiation exposure. Michael can't shake the feeling that what he saw was real. Nightmares plague his sleep. Shadows in everyday life make him jump. The line between reality and illusion blurs. He contemplates returning, to find answers or perhaps to lay the ghosts to rest. But the fear holds him back. Are the legends of Chernobyl more than just stories? Michael's experience suggests there may be truths lurking in the abandoned heart of Pripyat. Chernobyl remains a place of tragedy, mystery, and speculation. Whether the monsters are real or symbolic of the unseen dangers of radiation and abandonment is a question that lingers. What we do know is that some places carry echoes of the past so strong they can manifest in ways we don't fully understand. Perhaps the real monsters are born from our fears in the shadows of history. Thank you for joining me on this chilling journey. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales that explore the unknown. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.